Looking at this from the perspective of a marketer in general, we used to shift to the creation of inbound, right? So like this is what you're talking about. So creating blog posts, creating a lot of free value inside the market. So this is not that unique anymore. And HubSpot started with this 10, 20 years ago, wherever you want to put the date. So assuming that we're not talking about that particular thing, because that is still important.
Yeah.
Some things are starting to shift. So what does change? The first thing that changes is that SEO, so just like showing up on search engines, is not that important anymore. It still is important, but it's actually declining because of LLMs. So we need to start to think about this as well. And but if you're putting all of this aside, there are two factors that are fundamentally changing right now in terms of the marketing of a product in highly competitive markets, which means we have choice. The first one is that you are not trying to convert or collect leads. You are just trying to convince the customer to even spend some time with you. Now, that might seem like a very inconsequential thing. So like, what can I do with this? Well, the difference is that you have to accept that gating content just to collect email addresses, or creating these shitty MQLs where you say like, oh, they accepted socks from us at a conference. Now it's a lead. You can completely forget about that. You have to kind of accept that marketing is moving into a way where you cannot attribute anymore and not create leads, that you can just like simply like, kind of like push up.
Yeah.
And the reason for this is that whenever you start to ask for an email address, or like you're putting a gate in front of people, they do not accept this anymore. The more down market we are, the more this is the case. So that is the first one. So it is about just creating intent. So like we have to go even more top of funnel than we used to do. So even more content, even more value in that sense. Mm-hmm. And the second thing that is a little bit tied to this is the focus. So we cannot afford anymore to hammer our customers or prospects with 100 messages from our entire product suite.
Yeah.
We have to make sure that we're sending 5 messages and all of them are as relevant as possible. And then we give control to the consumer as well, that they can say like, I'm not interested in this, because otherwise they start to kind of develop a blindness to our brand.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Right. And that is very, very hard, because at the same time, I just told you that we have to forego some of the control. And if you take this now all together, now you have also another challenge, which is probably the biggest one of all of them, and that is to know where you should do this.
Yeah.
So it used to be an easy play as a marketer on two fronts. You could say that we have a blog, we're just going to post it there. And then we have Google Ads that we're going to fire on it. So where do we put the efforts and where do we spend the money? Mm-hmm. That's not the case anymore. So especially when you think about where is this content going to happen, the answer might be in an obscure WhatsApp group or a Slack community or a Discord community or in-person events in a very big city where you have most of your contracts, specifically if you're a B2B SaaS or whatever. So the job of marketers is starting to become not only to create, but also to find channels that are very niche, which is creating a lot of demand on, your resources and how to farm them. But that's what's changing about, product-led content creation.